yourself in the 14th century, a time when kingdoms and empires reigned across the African continent. Imagine a king whose riches were so vast that they seemed like something out of a fairy tale. This king was none other than Mansa Musa, and his wealth is a mystery that continues to fascinate. Hey there, welcome to Fact Dose, where we're dedicated to unlocking the wonders of the world one dose at a time. Today, we are embarking on a captivating journey into history as we unveil the enigmatic riches of a man whose wealth has left historians and treasure hunters baffled. Join us as we delve into the mesmerizing story of Mansa Musa and the wealth that astounded the world. Now, we're talking about a guy who's often hailed as one of the richest people ever to walk this planet. Mansa Musa. We're not entirely sure about the exact numbers, but some folks estimate his net worth to be around a jaw-dropping $400 billion. Yeah, you heard that right. Mansa Musa ruled over the mighty Mali Empire in sub-Saharan Africa. This place was a gold mine, literally. They had so much gold, ivory, and slaves. It's mind-boggling. Now, here's the crazy part. Mansa Musa was living large. His spending habits were off the charts. He was throwing around so much gold and lavish stuff that he caused straight-up inflation in the city of Cairo. Imagine being so rich that your shopping sprees halfway across the world mess with a whole other city's economy. That's the legend of Mansa Musa for you, a truly larger-than-life figure in history. Let me paint you a picture of Mansa Musa's epic journey. In the years 1324 and 1325, this African king decided to take a pilgrimage to Mecca, the Holy Land where the Prophet Muhammad was born. But he didn't just pack a suitcase and hop on a plane. No, this was a royal expedition. Mansa Musa had an entourage that could rival a small army. He rolled with 60,000 men and 12,000 slaves. And guess what each of those slaves was carrying? Yep, a gold bar or a fancy gold staff. They were basically walking banks on legs. And if that wasn't enough, there were 80 camels in the mix, each lugging around a whopping 300 pounds of gold dust. This was some serious bling on the move. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Mansa Musa shared a little story with the governor of Cairo, Emir Abu al-Hasan Ali ibn Amir Hijji. He said that he came into power as a deputy when the previous king set sail with a grand fleet of 2,000 ships. Half of those were for him and his crew, and the other half for supplies and water. Their mission to explore what lay on the other side of the vast Atlantic Ocean. But here's the kicker. They vanished without a trace, never to be seen or heard from again. This tale, captured by the Arab historian Ibn Fadl al-Umari, is a one-of-a-kind mystery that adds an extra layer of intrigue to the legendary Mansa Musa and the enigmatic history of his kingdom. Now, let's get one thing straight. The idea of an African explorer boldly sailing across the Atlantic has stirred up some wild tales, but most historians give it the old thumbs down. Africanist Robin Law is all like, hey, Musa's story might seem like evidence for this idea that Africans hit the Americas before Columbus. But let's not get carried away. In fact, a more down-to-earth interpretation of the story is that West Africans weren't exactly the sea-going pros when it came to oceanic navigation. Hold on, though. It's not like Africans were just sitting on the beach, twiddling their thumbs. It turns out there was some action in the maritime department long before the Portuguese showed up on the scene. There was a network that allowed trade to flourish between places like Liberia's Cape Mount and Senegal's Cape Verde, dealing in goods like pepper and cola nuts. Something similar might have been happening between the Gold Coast and the Slave Coast. So, while they might not have been Columbus-level sailors, they were definitely doing some oceanic business. Mansa Musa's predecessor may have been overlooked in Malian tradition due to his subjects perceiving his transatlantic voyage as abandoned. The lack of mention of his name in Al-Umari's account makes his identification challenging. Official records of the kingdom's line of succession were not created until decades after Mansa Musa's pilgrimage. According to Ibn Khaldun, the predecessor was Muhammad ibn Ku, while others attribute the voyage to Muhammad ibn Ku's father, Mansa Ku. The introduction of Abu Bakr as a candidate was due to a 19th century mistranslation. But for Mansa Musa's Atlantic journey, he dispatched 200 ships with provisions for an extended voyage. Unfortunately, only one ship returned, describing reaching a river with a powerful current, likely the Canary Current along the northwestern coast of Africa. If the fleet had sailed westward, it could have reached the Amazon, despite the limitations and challenges of oceanic navigation in West Africa during that time. Mansa Musa managed to connect his empire to the world after his legendary pilgrimage to Mecca. He didn't just hoard his wealth. No, he brought in architects from the Middle East to enhance cities like Gao and Timbuktu. The impressive riches of Mali caught the eye of Arab merchants who flocked to the kingdom, turning it into a cultural melting pot and a hub for the Islamic faith. Mansa Musa's reign was undoubtedly a high point in Mali's history. However, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Poor leadership and civil strife led to the empire's downfall in the 1460s, paving the way for the rise of the Songhai Empire to the east. But Mali didn't vanish entirely. It held on to some territories in the west until the 17th century, when its capital was sacked by the Bamani Empire, bringing an end to an era of African grandeur. Mansa Musa's wealth, while awe-inspiring, was not solely about the gold he possessed. It was a testament to the richness of African civilization and culture during a time when Europe was in the midst of the Middle Ages. As we conclude this intriguing journey into history, remember that the past is a treasure trove of incredible stories waiting to be uncovered. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Fact Dose for more intriguing facts from around the world, all in our mission to unlock the wonders of the world with Fact Dose. Thank you for joining us today, and remember, there's a world full of captivating tales and astounding facts to explore. Until next time, this is Fact Dose, signing off.